Terumah. First reading, Abraham, Chesed. The Lord said to Moses, saying, Tell the Israelites to bring me a contribution. You are to take the contribution for me from each man whose heart prompts him to give. This is the contribution you are to take from them: gold, silver, and bronze, blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and fine linen, goat hair, ram skins dyed red, and seal skins, acacia wood, olive oil for the light, spices for the anointing oil, and for the fragrant incense, and onyx stones and other gems for the ephod and breastplate. Make for me a sanctuary, and I will dwell among them. Make this tabernacle and all its furnishings exactly like the design I will show you. Have them make a chest of acacia wood, 2.5 cubits long, 1.5 cubits wide, and 1.5 cubits high. Overlay it with pure gold, both inside and out, and make a gold molding around it. Cast 4 gold rings for it and fasten them to its 4 feet, with 2 rings on one side and 2 rings on the other side. Then make pillars of acacia wood and overlay them with gold. Insert the pillars into the rings on the sides of the chest to carry the ark with them. The pillars are to remain in the rings of this ark. They are not to be removed. Then put in the ark of the covenant, which I will give you. Terumah. Second reading, Isaac, Gevurah. Make a cover of pure gold, 2.5 cubits long and 1.5 cubits wide, and make 2 cherubim out of hammered gold at the ends of the cover. Make 1 cherub on one end and the second cherub on the other end. Make the cherubim of one piece with the cover at the 2 ends. The cherubim are to have their wings spread upward, overshadowing the cover with them. The cherubim are to face each other, looking toward the cover. Place the cover on top of the ark, and put in the ark the covenant which I will give you. I will meet with you there and speak to you above the cover between the 2 cherubim that are over the ark of the covenant, everything that I command for the Israelites. Make a table of acacia wood, 2 cubits long, 1 cubit wide, and 1.5 cubits high. Overlay it with pure gold, and make a gold molding around it. Also make around it a rim 1 handbreadth wide, and put a gold molding on the rim. Make 4 gold rings for it, and fasten them to the 4 corners, where the 4 legs are. The rings are to be close to the rim to house the poles used in carrying the table. Make the poles of acacia wood, overlay them with gold, and carry the table with them, and make its plates and dishes, as well as its pitchers and bowls for the pouring out of offerings. Of pure gold you shall make them. Put on the table the showbread to be before me at all times. Terumah. Third reading, Jacob, Tiferet. Make a candelabra of pure gold and hammer it out, base and shaft. Its cups, its knops, and its flowers shall be of one piece with it. 6 branches are to extend from its sides, 3 branches of the candelabra on one side, and 3 branches of the candelabra on the other. 3 cups shaped like almond flowers with buds and blossoms are to be on one branch, and 3 cups shaped like almond flowers with buds and blossoms are to be on one branch. The same for all 6 branches extending from the candelabra. And on the candelabra stand, there are to be 4 cups shaped like almond flowers with buds and blossoms. 1 bud shall be under the first pair of branches extending from it, a 2nd bud under the 2nd pair, and a 3rd bud under the 3rd pair, to be done to all 6 branches extending from the candelabra. The buds and branches shall all be of one piece with it, hammered out of pure gold. Then make it 7 lamps and set them up on it so that they light the space in front of it. Its wick, trimmers, and trays are to be of pure gold. A talent of pure gold is to be used for the candelabra and all these accessories. See that you make them according to the pattern shown to you on the mountain. Make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of finely twisted linen and blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, with cherubim worked into them by a skilled craftsman. The length of one curtain is to be 28 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. This same measure is to be used for all the curtains. Join 5 of the curtains together to one another, and join the remaining 5 curtains together to one another. Make loops of blue material along the edge of the end curtain in one set, and do the same with the outermost curtain in the second set. Make 50 loops on one curtain and 50 loops on the outermost curtain of the second set, with the loops opposite each other. Then make 50 gold clasps and use them to fasten the curtains together so that the tabernacle is one. Make curtains of goat hair for the tent over the tabernacle. 11 curtains altogether you shall make. The first curtain is to be 30 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. This is to be done to each of the 11 curtains. Join 5 of the curtains together into one set, and the other 6 into another set. Fold the 6th curtain double at the front of the tent. Make 50 loops along the edge of the external curtain in one set, and 50 loops along the edge of the end curtain in the other set. Then make 50 bronze clasps and put them in the loops to fasten the tent together as one. For the remainder of the tent curtains, the half curtain that remains is to hang down at the rear of the tabernacle. The tent curtains will be a cubit longer on both sides. What is left will hang over the sides of the tabernacle so as to cover it. Make a covering for the tent of ram skins dyed red, and over that a covering of seal skins. Terumah. Fourth reading, Moses, Netzach. Make upright boards of acacia wood for the tabernacle. Each board is to be 10 cubits long and a cubit and a half wide. With 2 projections set parallel to each other, make all the boards of the tabernacle in this way. Make 20 boards for the south side of the tabernacle, and make 40 silver sockets to go under them, 2 boards for each frame, 1 under each of the 20 sockets. For the other side, the north side of the tabernacle, make 20 boards, and 40 silver sockets, 2 under one board and 2 on the other. Make 6 boards for the far end, that is, the west end of the tabernacle, and make 2 boards for the corners at the far end. At these 2 corners they must be double from the bottom all the way to the top, and fitted into a single ring. Both shall be like that. So there will be 8 boards and 16 silver sockets, 2 under one frame and 2 under the other frame. Also make crossbars of acacia wood, 5 for the boards on one side of the tabernacle, 5 for those on the second side of the tabernacle, and 5 for the boards on the west at the far end of the tabernacle. The center crossbar is to extend from end to end at the middle of the boards. Overlay the boards with gold and make gold rings to house the crossbars. Also overlay the crossbars with gold. Erect the tabernacle according to the plan shown to you on the mountain. Terumah. Fifth reading, Aaron, Hod. Make a curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn in finely twisted linen, with cherubim worked into it by a skilled craftsman. Hang it with gold hooks on 4 pillars of acacia wood, overlaid with gold and standing on 4 silver bases. Hang the curtain from the clasps and place the Ark of the Covenant behind the curtain. The curtain will separate the holy place from the Holy of Holies. Put the atonement cover on the Ark of the Covenant in the Holy of Holies. Place the table outside the curtain and put the candelabra opposite it on the south side. The table put on the north side of the tabernacle. For the entrance to the tent, make a curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and finely twisted linen, the work of an embroiderer. Make gold hooks for this curtain and 5 posts of acacia wood overlaid with gold, and cast 5 bronze bases for them. Terumah, 6th reading, Joseph, Yesod. Build an altar of acacia wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits wide. It is to be square, 3 cubits high. Make its horns at each of the 4 corners, so that the horns and the altar are of one piece, and overlay the altar with bronze. Make all its utensils, its pots to remove the ashes, and its shovels, sprinkling bowls, forks, and firepans, of bronze. Make a grating for it, a bronze network, and make 4 bronze rings at each of the 4 corners of the network. Put it under the ledge of the altar, on the bottom, so that it is halfway up the altar. Make poles of acacia wood for the altar, and overlay them with bronze. Bring the poles into the rings, so they will be on 2 sides of the altar when it is carried. Make the altar hollow out of boards. It is to be made just as you were shown on the mountain. Terumah, 7th reading, David, Malchut. Make a courtyard for the tabernacle. The south side shall be 100 cubits long, and is to have curtains of finely twisted linen, with 20 pillars and 20 bronze sockets, and with silver hooks and bands on the posts. The north side shall also be 100 cubits long, and is to have curtains, with 20 pillars and 20 bronze sockets, and with silver hooks and bands on the pillars. The west end of the courtyard shall be 50 cubits wide, and have curtains, with 10 pillars and 10 sockets. On the east end, toward the sunrise, the courtyard shall be 50 cubits wide. Curtains 15 cubits long are to be on one side of the entrance, with 3 pillars and 3 sockets. And curtains 15 cubits long are to be on the other side, with 3 pillars and 3 sockets. For the entrance to the courtyard, provide a curtain 20 cubits long, of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and finely twisted linen, the work of an embroiderer, with 4 pillars and 4 sockets. Terumah, Maftil. All the pillars around the courtyard are to have silver bands and hooks, and bronze bases. The courtyard shall be 100 cubits long and 50 cubits wide, with curtains of finely twisted linen 5 cubits high, and with bronze sockets. All the other articles used in the service of the tabernacle, whatever their function, including all the tent pegs for it and those for the courtyard, are to be of bronze. Haftarah of Terumah. 1 Kings 5:26 through 6:13. And the Lord gave Solomon wisdom, as he promised him, and there was peace between Hiram and Solomon, and they two made a league together. And King Solomon raised a levy out of all Israel, and the levy was 30,000 men. And he sent them to Lebanon, 10,000 a month by courses. A month they were in Lebanon, and 2 months at home, and Adoniram was over the levy. And Solomon had 70,010 that bore burdens, and 80,000 that were hewers in the mountains, besides Solomon's chief officers that were over the work, 3,300 who bore rule over the people that wrought in the work. And the king commanded, and they quarried great stones, costly stones, to lay the foundation of the house with hewn stone. And Solomon's builders, and Hiram's builders, and the Gebalites did fashion them, and prepared the timber and the stones to build the house. In the 480th year after the Israelites had come out of Egypt, in the 4th year of Solomon's reign over Israel, in the month of Ziv, the 2nd month, he built the temple for the Lord. The temple that King Solomon built for the Lord was 60 cubits long, 20 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. The portico at the front of the main hall of the temple extended the width of the temple, that is 20 cubits, and projected 10 cubits from the front of the temple. He made narrow, clear-story windows in the temple. Against the walls of the main hall and inner sanctuary he built a structure around the building, in which there were side rooms. The lowest floor was 5 cubits wide, the middle floor 6 cubits wide, and the third floor 7 cubits wide. He made offset ledges around the outside of the temple so that nothing would be inserted into the temple walls. In building the temple, only blocks dressed at the quarry were used, and no hammer, chisel, or any other iron tool was heard at the temple site while it was being built. The entrance to the lowest floor was on the south side of the temple. A stairway led up to the middle level, and from there to the 3rd level. So he built the temple and completed it, roofing it with beams and cedar planks. And he built the side rooms all along the temple. The height of each was 5 cubits, and they were attached to the temple by beams of cedar. The word of the Lord came to Solomon, saying, "As for this temple you are building, if you follow my decrees, carry out my regulations, and keep all my precepts and obey them, I will fulfill through you the promise I gave to David your father. And I will live among the Israelites, and will not abandon my people Israel."